So let's get to it. All right. I'm going to keep my focus here on this camera. I love you guys. I am here for you. I am checking, but so I don't get dizzy, I'm going to stay here. All right. So, wow. Okay. It's so good to see so many of you guys. Your faces again. It's been a really long time since we've done one of these calls. And I'm excited to let you know that this will become a regular thing. Right now, I'm shooting for once a month. And then, of course, when we are relaunching House Sitter Academy, which we happen to be right now, it's actually on sale for the President's Day weekend, holiday, and Valentine's Day for $47. So that's more than half off if you do want to jump in and get the masterclass, get all the extra tools, the actual strategies that we use. This is the best time to get it if you've been on the fence. And like I said, the community is free. You're always welcome to join that. So for those of you who don't know me or need a refresher, I'm Brandi. I am one of two of the Bougie Nomads, along with my mom, Sandra, and we've been full-time international house sitters for close to 2 years. Our 2-year anniversary is just coming up, and we are the faces behind the Bougie Nomad brand. We also created House Sitter Academy because, well, honestly, house sitting literally changed our lives. Quick context on that. 2 years ago, I was in the middle of what I can only describe as a complete crisis. Successful on paper, absolutely falling apart internally. And if you can relate to that, please drop a heart in the comments. I know I'm not the only one here who has suffered or experienced from burnout, depression, anxiety, all those things. And in the middle of complete nervous system dysregulation because I didn't know how to manage my time, my schedule, my energy, right? I was just being pulled in so many directions, continuing to pile things on top of an already full calendar, full schedule, complete breakdown of my body. It was just a lot. And at the same time, my mom was getting to a point where she was also feeling those things, but and ready to retire, ready to start enjoying this stage of her life. And so the breakthrough came when, one, I discovered nervous system regulation tools such as EDMR, EFT tapping, all of it. I love all the tools. But here's the wild part. Even as I was healing, I couldn't have afforded that healing journey without house sitting. House sitting gave me the infrastructure to rebuild. It gave my mom the ability to actually start to work less, having to say yes to bringing on more work, more clients, and actually, work from a place where did she feel comfortable? Was she open to it? Was it something that she wanted to do, whether it being I have no choice in the matter. So zero housing costs meant we could actually rest while working on ourselves. We weren't hustling to cover rent and bills and utilities, mortgages. We were staying in beautiful homes around the world while we actually had a chance to figure out how to function as human beings again. So that's when we realized that house sitting isn't just about free accommodations. It's about buying yourself the space to build the life that you actually want. And who doesn't want that? So today I want to pull back the curtain. There's no gatekeeping here on exactly why this works, how to actually do it, and answer a few of those questions that keep you stuck in research mode instead of booking mode. All right. So one of the biggest things that this has done for us is the financial piece. So let's start with the obvious. My mom and I have saved over $40,000 annually. And that's just, let's just say housing costs, right? Rent in California, which we already know is expensive, insurance, utilities, those sort of things. That is what we've managed to save just by house sitting. That's $40,000 that we're not spending in those places that instead we get to now invest. We get to save. We get to reinvest into our business. We get to invest into our healthcare, our mental health, our self-care, right? That's $40,000 that we get to spend on better flights instead of being stuck in economy, you know, upgrading. That's airfare, that's train fare, that's eating at a nice restaurant, a Michelin star restaurant if we wanted to. That is more options. But here's where people get it wrong. House sitting is not your income stream, right? It's your infrastructure. Now, yes, you can earn money house sitting, and I do show you that inside the group and in the masterclass. There are a few, and I say a handful, like with any industry, there are a few people who have mastered the art of this and they are making a really good living doing it. I will be honest with you, that is not our story. We now run several online businesses. We have other income streams, income rivers that help support us. House sitting has been a way to give us more space, has been a way for us to travel more freely and to live in places versus just feeling like we're a casual visitor. So think about it like this. The traditional path is you earn, let's just say 5K a month. Well, especially if you're in California, you're probably spending 2K of that on housing, if not more. That leaves you 3K left. The house sitting path is you earn 5K, you spend zero on housing, you have 5K left. That's an extra $24,000 in your pocket without earning a single extra dollar. So I really want you to think about that because perhaps you're in a space right now, and this is where I was as well, where you are exhausted, you are burnt out, you really want to rest, but you can't because you need to be working, right? The bills don't stop. The responsibility hasn't stopped. It's not going to lessen. House sitting gives you that space because now that's taking less, it's taking more off your plate, which means maybe you don't have to work overtime, right? Maybe you don't have to take on one or two side gigs. At the height of this, I was door dashing, I was donating plasma, I was trying to still maintain a steady roster of clients, client work, but I was tired. I was done. So now, sorry about that. All right. So this is what makes house sitting different from every other digital nomad strategy. You're not nickel and diming Airbnb discounts or living in hostels. You're living in actual homes with full kitchens, laundry, Wi-Fi, and most times there's pets. And if you love animals, cats, dogs, gerbils, hamsters, birds, you name it, then you are going to love that portion of it as well. Now, I was not an animal person getting into this, but I soon became one and I love it. Love it. It's the best part of doing this now. House sitting gives you 2 to 4 weeks, sometimes longer, of an actual routine. Now, if you love to shake things up and routine, things constantly being the same, you start to feel a bit stagnant, then again, you will love this because your environment is changing constantly. Real homes gives you a sense of grounding. Now, I'm sure plenty of us have stayed in Airbnbs that were lovely and totally fit the bill for what we were looking for, and we felt at home. But chances are you're not going to feel that in a hotel. I'm definitely not in a hostel, right? So being in a home immediately grounds you. and having the opportunity to be there for a long enough period of time, it feels like home. Pet companionship, I got a little one over here. There's a reason why dogs, animals are nervous support system buddies, emotional support buddies, right? Because what they bring to your life is nervous system regulation. And then zero accommodation stress, right? So that means, again, you have more space, you have more time. Creativity can come back to you. Being in flow, finding your zone of genius because you're able to rest and give yourself that space to actually allow that to come through. So when you're constantly moving, constantly spending, constantly in figure it out mode, your nervous system is in fight or flight. You can't manifest from that state. You can't build from that state. You're just surviving. I literally could not have built our businesses without this foundation. And you can't build an empire with a dysregulated nervous system, period. I don't care what anybody tells you, it's not going to happen. So then there's the obvious, right? You get to live in places that most people only dream about visiting. One of my greatest stories right now is sharing our time in a amazing I think when I tell you amazing, this place was breathtaking. This beautiful, spacious home, luxurious home in Montecito, California. I mean, we're talking where Oprah, the Duchess, and you know, what is he, a Duke now?
Harry.
The former Prince Harry, right? We're talking about them being our neighbors. We're in the same zip code with them. And we had an opportunity to spend close to 3 weeks in this beautiful home, two cute little dogs. But I mean, you walk outside in the back and it was just ocean. Just the most beautiful, expansive view you could ever imagine. Turns out, because we always like to Google the homes that we're staying in to see exactly how much they're worth. Turns out this exact home, when she's not traveling and bringing in house sitters, pet sitters, she rents it out. She rents it out for movies, movie studios to film in. And if you wanted to stay there, if you wanted to, you could stay there for $25,000 non-peak season, up to $30,000 a month. And we were staying there for free. Do you hear me? For free. I don't know about you, but I think we got a really good deal. With the only caveat was that we had to take care of two dogs. Oh, so much work, right? That is what we're talking about here. So we have house set in Costa Rica. We've been up and down the U.S. We've spent a month in Southeast Asia, probably over a month at this point in Mexico, South America. Um, yeah. So life is pretty good. I am not complaining at all. And this is luxury travel. Whether you realize it or not, this is luxury travel. The beauty of it is it's on a realistic budget. So the one thing we stress over and over and over again is that it doesn't take 20, 30, $50,000 in your savings. It doesn't take you having visas, work visas, student visas, digital nomad visas. It doesn't take a trust fund. It doesn't take all of these things, winning the lottery. It doesn't take all of these big things that you keep running around in your head in order to get started. This is actually the easiest way to get started and figure it out along the way. So let's just talk about, a practical framework for what this would look like. Okay. How does this actually work is what I always get in our comments. What does this actually look like? What are you doing? How does this make sense? So for us, it started with finding a platform to help us. We didn't have any reviews. We didn't know anybody that needed a house sitter, for a pet sitter. And the thing I love to talk about the most is that I love to talk about this part because we all start at zero, right? We all start there. And then you learn, you get better, it gets easier. You take more risk, right? You decide, okay, I'm going to go outside of my city or town. I'm going to go outside of my state. Okay, I'm going to go outside the country. I'm going to go for a week. I'm going to go for 2 weeks. I'm going to go for 2 months. I'm going to sit in one animal. Okay, I'm going to try two. Okay, three is the max. But you can keep building upon it. And the more you open up your filters, literally your filters, the more opportunity there is. And that is also one of the beautiful parts about it. So for us, it was partnering with trusted house sitters. This is a site where they take care of everything for you. Your insurance, background check, security check. They vet every single homeowner that's on the platform, every single house sitter on the platform. You have access to 24/7 vet support and customer service support. Now, some of these depend on your membership level, but at the core of it, security, background checks, support, everybody gets that. Now, the higher up you go, there's like fun bonuses that you get, which I'll talk about later. But this is a site that has been around for years. It started in the UK. It has moved over here with a force to be reckoned with. Most of the house sits, I would say probably about 45%, we'll just say, are going to be in the US. The other big chunk is going to be the UK, and then a small percentage in other places around the world. But you can actually find house sits around the world. They are available. Last week, I'm on the website every day, but last week I was on and I actually took a screenshot and I posted it in my threads. And it said there were currently something crazy like 8,900 house sit opportunities available right now. And I guarantee you, there's probably half that number of house sitters on the platform that are registered and ready to go. So don't tell me that you can't find a house sit. Don't tell me there's not enough opportunity because that's just on this platform. And there are many platforms out there in addition to what you can do on your own if you don't want to go that route. Now, going that route has its pluses and minuses as well. And again, that's something we get into in the masterclass. But starting out, we would not be where we are right now if it weren't for trusted house sitters. So I will always say that is the first line, the first place to start. You can't go wrong. You create a profile, you search for house sits, places that you want to go and visit for the length of time. Do you want to house sit? Do you want to pet sit? Or do you just want to house sit? These are all things you get to choose, right? You show up, magic happens. I wish it were that simple. It is that simple. There's a few more pieces in there, but it literally is like that, especially if you're using a website that has it all listed out for you. So, what do homeowners actually want? Well, okay, this is the key. They don't need you to be a pet expert because this is the other thing that initially stopped me. I'm like, I haven't really had a pet of my own. I know nothing about dogs. I was actually terrified of dogs. My mom is allergic to cats, so that wasn't an option. But I was willing to give it a shot. And the fact that I had 24/7 vet support in my pocket was a huge help. Having Google University, ChatGPT was also very helpful. But you're not required to be a pet expert. There are plenty of people on this platform that were just like me at one point who we learned as we go. And again, the beautiful part about working on a platform that has it all built out for you, they know what questions to ask the homeowner. So before you even apply for a house sit, you can see what is going to be expected of you. So you can decide, okay, can I actually do this? Can I manage this? Is this something I want to do? I want to manage. You have options. After that, it's communication, communication, communication. Communicating with the homeowner, expectations, responsibilities, what they're actually wanting. And then you communicating to them what you're able to do and provide, why you're the best candidate for it, and show up. But communication is key because the more trustworthy you are, the more you come across as being the kind of person they can rely on. Because keep in mind, they are entrusting you with one of two things: their home, which might be their most valued, highest valued possession, right? Most expensive. And two, their pet, which is priceless, right? That actually might be their most valued possession, their most valued family member, their most valued obsession. They're having to entrust it with you while they're gone. So we don't take that lightly. And that's also a very small price to have to pay for everything else that you're getting in return. The next thing we normally dive into is, how do you actually get chosen for a house sit? A strong profile, right? Leading with your personal story. Now, don't get me wrong. I love me some GPT. I love me some Claude. I love me some Gemini. But I do not rely on these AI tools to write my application letter or to initially do my reach out to a homeowner. Because for as good as they can put things into words and describe things, that heart isn't there. My energy isn't there. There's something energetically that gets transmuted when you actually take what's in here and put it on paper or on the computer screen. They sense that. They feel that. So you want to take that time and actually do that part yourself. Have chat edit it, check the grammar, check the spelling, but you write it authentically, being real, being vulnerable, and just connecting with the homeowner. You would be amazed how far that goes versus, oh, well, I don't have all of the reviews and testimonials and all these things. They want to know you and why you think you should be the one that's selected. And your letter, your application, in addition to having a Zoom with them or a FaceTime, will leave them no other option. You are such the obvious yes that you will get chosen. The great thing about the House Sitter Masterclass program is that I actually give you a couple of our templates. Now I changed them up depending, I have changed it up actually quite a bit because our experience level and what we bring has changed obviously from the very beginning. But I do give you our very first template that allowed us to have our full year booked solid within 30 days. If it can work for us, it can work for you. So the part that no one talks about is the mindset piece. And this is where people get stuck. You research for months and you never apply. Homeowners are desperate for good sitters. Like I mentioned like a week ago, there were over 8,900 house sitting opportunities on the platform. Enough said. This is not about begging for an opportunity. You're literally in need. People need your service. They need what only you can offer. And if you want to travel and you want to have this piece taken care of, then my dear, it's a no-brainer. The opportunities are there. Remember, you're solving a problem for them just as much as they're solving a problem for you. Okay. So I hope with that, I have like wet your whistle as to what is included in the House Sitter Academy and what you can expect, and giving you at least more of an idea of what this life looks like. Because it really can be fun and exciting and also challenging and different. It's a unconventional life. That's what we usually call it. And if that is something that you want to sign up for, that you feel like in this time of your life and where you are in the stage feels really good, then this might be what you've been looking for. Okay, so we've got about 15 minutes left. I'm going to jump into some questions. And let's see here. Hi, everybody on Substack. Thank you for joining. In case you are wondering why I'm looking back and forth, it's because I'm also live on Zoom inside our community. And I'm going back and forth. All right. So, questions. I love this part. All right. So, what if I've never done this before and have no experience? Great question. I actually mentioned that earlier. I will mention it again because this is important. And a lot of people get stuck in this phase. We didn't either. We all start at zero. Plain and simple. The question is, how how can I sell myself better than the person that has at least one review? Right? That's what I want you to think about. And let me also say this, because the other day on Thread, someone asked the same question, and I reminded them that you have experience. One, you have experience managing, being responsible for, organizing, communication. You have experience. It's just how you're going to package it. And maybe you don't have any literal house sitting, pet sitting reviews, but I'm pretty sure there are people in your life that would love to give you a glowing recommendation, a testimonial, a, a referral. Those all count. Homeowners just want to know that one, you're a real person. Two, you have some sort of history that you've done something like this and can be responsible. And that it's not just in your head, other people can vet for you. That's it. So, to answer your question, we didn't either. And neither does anyone on their first sit. Everyone has their first sit. You start from there and you do such a great job and you ask for the review. You ask for the testimonial. You ask for the referral. This is not a time, if you want to do this full time or even on a regular basis, this is not the time to be shy. Our first year, every thank you note that we left for the homeowner, I made sure to put a PS. Can't wait to read your review. We really appreciate it. This will allow us to help other homeowners, pet owners. It puts the ball in their corner and it makes them feel like, oh, that's all I got to do to help more people, to be of service. Awesome, I can do that. The beautiful thing about using a platform to help you is that they also get prompted by the platform, just like Airbnb. When you have checked out, within a few minutes of checking out, you get, "Bing, here's Airbnb, leave your review." How many stars would you give it? So, great question. Just start. Just start. All right. What if homeowners don't pick me because I'm too old or too young or just not experienced? Again, so here's the thing. There's always going to be something, right? Either you are too old, they don't want someone that mature watching their house or their animals for whatever reason. Maybe they have puppies and they know that they are a lot of energy, right? Maybe they have big dogs and they know that a younger person is going to be able to take them running, hiking, be able to handle them versus a retiree. Maybe they have a house cat, but a beautiful, very expensive home, and they don't want to run the risk of a young person staying over and having parties or having guests over and not respecting their rules. There's going to be something for everyone. What I also love is the question of, well, can I do this with my partner? Can I do this with my husband, my wife, my kids? You guys, I just met a family of 7 who have been doing this for years. For years. They have 5 kids. I believe she said between the ages of 8 and we'll say 14, 15. And they travel around Europe and they've been house sitting for, I want to say, about 5 years. Anyone can do this. It's how you package up your skills, what makes you you, and you sell it. What about the costs? Platform fees, flights, insurance. Does this actually save money? Okay, let's do some simple math, right? Trusted house sitters, say you start on the platform. You're looking at the lowest membership, I believe, is like $129 a year. I want to know, when was the last time you paid $129 a night for a hotel? This is for a year, you guys. And you get access to thousands of house sitting opportunities around the world. Flights, I mean, depending on your budget and how much you want to spend and what you're comfortable with, you've got Frontier up to Emirates. Emirates. You decide how you want to fly. And insurance, which if you don't go through a platform, you're going to have to get on your own. But that's based on so many other factors. I can't really give you a number for that, but that's something to consider. If you're going about this on your own, insurance, background check, um, going through a platform to do your own background checks, those little costs add up. So again, factor in, is it worth it for me to pay a platform to help me get started versus me paying out the cash for all these things? But, and do you actually save money? Yes. Like I said, my mom and I saved over $40,000 our first year, and we continue to save because that money now goes towards paying off debt, which means that's less money we're spending out to pay off credit cards, to pay off other things. And when you really get this down, you find even more holes that you get to plug. Life becomes even simpler because, again, you need less. So the things that you would frivolously spend money on before, you realize, I don't actually need that. I don't actually require that anymore. Oh, here's a good one. How do I know if I'm ready to start applying? You're ready the moment you decide that you're ready. There's no certification that you need. Yes, you can definitely get one. I would also recommend that you not, because that is going to be one more thing to hold up your process. But if you are interested in a house sitting, pet sitting certification, I can definitely refer you to something like that. But there's no test, right? And there's no perfect moment. For my mom and I, it was literally me walking in after a workout class and saying, hey, I got this idea. I don't know what you're going to think, but what if? And I knew she would say, you're crazy. And she didn't. And here we are. Here we are. If you can be, I want you to remember this. If you can be responsible, communicate, and kind, then you're ready. The only thing stopping you at that point, if you could tackle those three things, the only thing stopping you is the story that you're continuing to tell yourself about not being ready. And, a few weeks inside the house sitter community, private group, I think you'll be able to wash that off. You'll be okay. So speaking of getting ready, I have something for you. If you're just jumping in, or if you just jumped in within the last, I would say 10 minutes, you probably missed my spiel in the very beginning. But House Sitter Academy Masterclass is on sale right now for the holiday weekend. We have dropped the price from $97 to $47. And it's only on sale until tomorrow. Tomorrow, everything goes back to normal, right? No more long weekend, extra day off. And we really wanted to give all of you a chance who were on the fence about, can I do this? You have an extra day. If you're in California, it's 3:00. If you're on the East Coast, it's 6. But you still got time to get in there, look around, start the master class. It's literally like 65 minutes, and start moving in that direction. The direction of no longer waiting for the weekend, no longer waiting for a 3-day weekend, no longer hating or dreading Sundays because Monday is coming up, and no more living for Saturday and Sunday, and you can't wait for Friday. All these things that we constantly tell ourselves, right? The way that we are living our life that isn't suiting us any longer. The other side of that is freedom. The other side of that is making your own schedule. The other side of that is having more spaciousness so that you can actually show up for the work that you love to do, that you have to do, that you get to do, and actually building a life that feels good, that feels nourishing. I bet you guys didn't think house sitting was this deep. I told you in the beginning, house sitting is just one part of this. Right? We call ourselves the bougie nomads, not just because we love the finer things, but because we love the finer things. We love the abundance, the prosperity, the wealth. And I'm not just talking about dollars or currency, but all the things that this lifestyle has brought to us, how much it's enriched our lives, how much it's given us, and in ways that we never, ever imagined. If you ask my mom, I know she would tell you that she feels richer today than she ever has. That's one thing we both agree on. And it doesn't come from how much is in our wallet. So I want you to think about that. I want to end on that note, because if I knew that going into this, I don't know how much faster we could have moved. But we probably would have moved even faster had we known that was going to happen. Again, this was a byproduct of that decision, and it continues to be a decision that we are so grateful that we made. And the ability to now pass on 2 years of knowledge, 2 years of trial and error, 2 years of lessons on to the next generation of amazing house sitter, pet sitters. And not just that, but people who are living their life, their best life on their terms. people that are finally experiencing what a quality life feels like. And wherever you are in the world, there is something going on. How do you find the space, the mental health, just the space? That's why I keep that's what keeps coming up for me. The space to heal yourself, to love what you do, to live your passions on your terms. All right, you guys. So that is our call today. I will put together a schedule for each monthly call. And actually, let me get you the link to the community if you are not already in there, because I want to make sure all of you have access. Bachi. Yes, our buddy over here, Bachi. You guys can't hear her, but she definitely agrees. All right, I'm going to put the link in the comments. And you guys, again, this is a free community that we have. It is on our platform. It's off of Substack, but you're welcome to join. Right now, everyone inside the group is watching this call on Zoom. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for joining. Thank you for participating. Thank you for your questions. I am so honored, so honored that you came and that you're curious. So let's keep this conversation going. Substack, if you have questions, if you want to chat, you know what to do. And community, I'll be talking to you soon. Have a great rest of your day, you guys. Be well.